All right, so today, hey Grace, today is one of our most anticipated calls we've ever done. We had about 100 new people, a little over 100 new people join before today's call. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the basics about how we do things around these parts here at capitalism.com. So a few Sundays a month we get together for Capitalism Coffee, and we talk about creating change and building businesses. And today we're talking about authority sites, and I've tabbed this just one site, because if you do this just one time, you can have easy have a full-time income. Easy have a full-time income. This is a 7-figure business model, but if you do it like half right or like a third right, you can easily have a full-time income doing just this. And it's super fun. It's super light. It can be super part-time if you want it to be. And so we're gonna cover that today. I'm gonna cover how we do things around here. For a while, I'll teach some stuff. Then I'm gonna turn it over to you where we do live Q&A. And the Q&A is a bit of a mix of, if you want to ask a question about what we've just talked about, you can come on live. C Money, my right hand man, is managing the board, if you will. And so he'll bring you on for a question if you want to ask it. But the other option is, if you just have something you want to give to the community. This is a community here inside of the 1% at capitalism.com. So if you've got a give, if you have an ask, if you have a service that you want to highlight, then you can do that just by going live, and we'll talk about it here on the call. Sound good? C Money, you ready to dive in today? Boom, let's do it. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, so today we're chatting about, I call this just one site. This is how to turn any interest, passion, or hobby into a 6, sometimes a 7-figure business with one authority website. Now, I want to give you a couple caveats before we dive into this. This was kind of inspired for me to share with you for a couple of reasons today. The first reason is because I did a podcast that's going live next week called "This is Supposed to Be Fun." Like this game, the reason why we all got into this game, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be light. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be hard work that you look forward to. That's what you all signed up for when you decided to be entrepreneurs. And this model is kind of the entry point that I know of. The entry point that I know of that is light, fun, profitable, grows over time. You can start on the side. This model is the model that I would give to somebody who is like, I want the light, fun, enjoyable business that can grow over the long term. And I am really excited to work with other entrepreneurs who are excited about something. So for a lot of my career, I've talked about money, I've talked about growth, I've talked about investing, and I love talking about that stuff. It's the reason I do it. I really enjoy this stuff. But when you get so caught up in just the result and you forget about why you got into this in the first place, it's actually not as scalable. It's way easier for me to blow up an entrepreneur who is doing something that they're excited about than it is for somebody who's got a good idea or has the numbers who make sense. Because when I'm investing in someone or when I'm advising somebody, I'm advising a person, I'm not advising a business. I'm advising an entrepreneur, a leader, somebody who is going in a specific direction. And this is the model that if I could give to 10,000 people who were excited, I could help them scale it real fast. So if you gave me an entrepreneur, who's doing this model and they're excited about it and they're following this process, we can put a physical products brand on it. We can put a membership site on it. We can put an advertising business on it, and we can just slam that thing to 7 or 8 figures. So this serves as just a beautiful foundation for whatever business that you want to build, as long as you are excited about it. The second reason that I want to share all of this with you is because this is, let me flip that. This is a beautiful follow-up to what we talked about a few weeks ago, which I'm going to recap here in a second. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I mentioned a few weeks ago that if I lost everything, that my model would be to build a giant email list in a market that interests me and serves my long-term interests. If you haven't seen that, if you're new here in the community, go and watch our last training session that is about how to build a 6-figure or 7-figure business building audiences. That's like the base level, what I would do in order to go from nothing to 6 or 7 figures really quickly. So this, what we're going to tack on top of this is the perfect complement to that, and we'll walk through that today. So the first thing I would do if I lost everything is I'd build a giant email list in a market that interests me or excites me. Next, I would nurture that email list with content that creates bonding. So that's like multimedia content, which is like podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And third, I would create and promote products and services that served my ideal person. That's how I would go from nothing to 6 or 7 figures really quickly. Now, the next part of this is that most entrepreneurs spend the majority of their time, like 80% of their time, on things that don't generate traffic, leads, or sales. So if we flip that script and we talk just about the things that you can do to generate traffic, leads, and sales, then you can cut out all of the stuff that most people do, which is getting caught up in social media or working with influencers or doing things that they genuinely don't enjoy. So let me give you the big idea here. If you get nothing else from this, this is the big idea. If you have one authority site using free resources and free traffic, it can be a 7-figure business. One small authority site with just a few content pieces is easily enough to generate a full-time income in like a few hours a week. Easy. And all of it can be done with no product, no advertising, no employees, and no startup costs and still be full-time. Now, if you have a business, if you have a product, if you have a direction you want to go, this model is the thing that will serve as the foundation to launch that. So a lot of people who are inside the 1% have physical product brands. If you've got one of those, then running this process is the content audience builder that is going to allow that physical products brand to be evergreen forever. Does that make sense? That this is like the foundation. This is the traffic and the leads that will then plug into wherever you go next, of building leads, of selling physical products, of whatever it is. So does that make sense? Give me a yay or a nay in the comments. You're welcome, Grant. I'm glad this is exciting for you. There we go. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Alex. There's Chris Van Loan. Hey, Lorena. Hey, JB. All right, good. Tiffany. Good, Tiffany. All right. Okay, good. There they come. All right. So let's do exactly this. This is how I made my first $100,000 a year. I was 19. I was living in a dorm room. Was I 18? I built the thing. I built my first authority website on my shared dial-up computer with HTML programming and 56K modems. Okay? It's easier now. But I made my first $100,000 a year with this process. First, started a general blog about one of my interests. That was when I was making $0. Just started the blog. I made no money just starting the blog. The second thing I did, though, was I started reviewing popular products in the space. That was enough to take me to $100 a day. So if that was all you did, like one of the kind of hacks in this world is if you just do a product review site, those little tiny sites can make a few $100 a day and be nice little income generators. The third thing is that I started building an email list and creating content on top of that blog. That took me to 6 figures. And then I started writing guest posts and articles on other sites. That started to link back to me, boosted my authority, boosted my traffic, and that was when this became a thing. So this process of starting a general blog, reviewing products, then starting to build an audience, and then doing guest posts to build my authority, getting links back and all this, that was what took this to made me a full-time entrepreneur for the rest of my life. Now, if I had lost everything and I was cutting out everything else, I would just skip to step 3. And I would build an email list like we talked about, and then I would create content to nurture that email list. That would be the fast lane, the hack. It's not going to be that long thing that builds over time. It's going to be the way that you kickstart whatever you want. But the other layer of this is the traffic and long-term authority that you build by creating the authority site, which now is like the fire that burns anything that you put into it. And so that's the authority site part of this process. Now, if somebody goes through this process, it grows over time. It starts off slow, just like any business, but it grows exponentially over time. And it results in the ability to do product launches, the ability to get sponsorship deals, and they are sellable businesses. So there are buyouts that can happen. We'll go over a couple examples throughout our time together today. So if you go through this process, it will grow over time. It'll start off really slow, and that's why most people don't do this. There is this period in which it feels like nothing happens for at least like 30 days. For about 30 days, it feels like nothing's happening. And then after 30 days, it starts to grow exponentially. And just like any business, after about a year, you have this engine that is just like burning. Oh, it's just this beautiful long-term engine that builds and burns and continues to collect fuel. And it's super fun. In fact, that's kind of the secret to this. This is the one caveat. In fact, let me speak right to you here for a second. In order for this process to work, like in order for you to make money doing this, you have to like it. So most people will come into this type of a business and they'll look at what's a good niche or what's a good market or what are the right keywords or what's the right product? How am I going to monetize this? That's the first thing that they start to ask. And I'm telling you, like, please believe me, this will make the most money if you do something that genuinely you enjoy and like. And the reason for that is because this business takes time and this business requires uniqueness. And because this takes time and uniqueness, and I don't mean necessarily time like a lot of effort, I mean it takes time to build. So it has to be in something that grips you enough for you to stay interested in it. And so it's one of the things I like to say is you don't need a passion. You don't need to know the niche or the market. You need to have an interest that you're willing to cultivate for the next while. So it doesn't have to be a personal blog. It doesn't have to be about you. It doesn't have to be something that you're so passionate about that you're going to be an authority. And having an authority site does not mean that you are an authority. It means that you've got enough interest that you can be curious and creative in this market so that as you are documenting the development or as you are creating the authority content, it's coming from a place of genuine interest. That really is the secret to this business model. So in order for you to win at this, I need you to be willing to punt the how am I going to make money in this? Because that's really the easy part. It's really the easy part. If you can line up the fact that you're interested in something, you're curious about something, you have a natural desire to go in a specific direction, that's the secret. That's the secret to having an authority site. We're going to go over some examples here in a second. All right, let's flip back here. Maybe. There we go. Actually, before I go on, are you all on board with this? Does this make sense? Do I need to clarify that point at all? Are you willing to allow yourself to say, okay, I'm just going to focus on an area that I enjoy rather than the business I think is going to work? Because I promise you, if you do the first part, the second part of how to make it sustainable and financially beneficial, I promise you we got you. The thing that is not replaceable is your own genuine interest and excitement. I cannot go into the marketplace and buy that. I can't. I can buy traffic. I can buy content. I can buy articles. I can buy links, but I cannot buy your energy. Your energy is what is required to make this work. And so you have to be willing to punt the things that don't excite you at the beginning so that you build up the momentum and the energy to be able to attract the things that are going to be financially rewarding for you. Okay. Bram says, look at Oasis' question. He says, would you recommend an authority site be separate to a physical product site? Great question. Thank you, Bram, for bringing this question to my attention. Answer. No. They're the same. I have a member of the tribe right now who has a lot of ideas. And every time this person has a new idea, they're tempted to start a new site about it. But the secret is, it's all like the same topic. And the more you can consolidate everything into one site, the more authority that site is going to have. So separating interests is splitting your focus. Keeping everything within the same business or the same umbrella will allow you to focus in the way that you'll need to get liftoff. Here's the rub. Here's the other side of it. If you're going to do this on a physical product site, meaning your own brand site, you don't talk about your own brand and product. You talk about the space. You talk about the industry. You talk about your market. You talk about your customer. You talk about the journey. You talk about what's in the news. You talk about what's hot among your community. That's what you talk about, not about your product. So, like, some of the worst content in the world, and this is what every physical product owner does, they'll make a piece of content that is like 10 backpacks or 10 ways to use our backpack. No one cares about 10 ways to use your backpack, or like that type of content just is all about you and all about your product rather than about the person that you're trying to attract that buys backpacks. So if you can flip this and talk about the space, you can do it on your own physical product site. I think it is a mistake to split your focus, especially if you're a 1 or 2 person show. If you got a 10-person team that is awesome at this, then go ahead and build multiple sites. That's probably not most of you, so I would recommend that you not divert your focus. All right. Let's go further. Good. I'm glad that's helpful, guys. So I want to add one caveat here. I am not going to baby you in this presentation. I am not going to give you the do this first, do this second on a granular level. So JB, when you say, oh, sorry, it wasn't JB. It was, actually, I don't see a name. When someone says, how do you set up a website? Google is your friend. I am not going to go through how to set up a website. We're not going to cover anything that can be found anywhere else. That can be found with 3 clicks. We're going to go into the strategy and how you can move this forward really quickly. Real quick. You guys I'm reading your comments. You're thinking about this too hard already. Like Grant, this question. What if you have a product site that sponsors your authority site? You're thinking too hard. You guys are already trying to think about how to like force this to happen. Or this question, would you recommend narrowing your niche? You guys are trying way too hard already. The only thing that I have told you so far in the 20 minutes that we've been hanging out is, can you just choose something that you're interested in? And there's all these questions about, well, how do I set up this? And what about this? Do I narrow this? Do I narrow this? You're making it way too hard. I sent an email out earlier this week that was like, some of the things that are keeping most of you stuck is that you're thinking and trying way too hard. So I'm just going to post this question for Bram. What would it feel like if it was easy? That's what we're doing here. Like, all we have talked about so far is I've gotten all of you to agree. Can you keep this fun and light and easy? And then you'll, yes, 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 yes. I moved on to one slide, and there's all these questions about how can I make it harder? We haven't even talked about anything yet. I'm spending the time to call this out because, as this comment says, most people think it's crazy, hard, and weird to have a business about what you like. We make it so hard on ourselves. We make it so complicated. So I'm not going to baby any of you by going into the step-by-step granular stuff, because there is no right way to do this. The only right way is the way that harnesses the excitement and the energy that gets pulled out of you. That's already in you. We're going to take that to the world. That's the only that is what we agreed to 9 minutes ago. So, enough of that. Greg, opportunity for someone, 10 steps to setting up an authority website. All right. So, I'm giving you one more opportunity to allow yourself to punt all the stuff that you don't know, aren't clear on, so that all you need to do is give yourself permission to focus on the market that you like. That's it. That's it. All right. Let's go in. All right. Now, when I say the word authority site, what am I talking about? An authority site is very simply a content-driven website that is used as a reference that other people reference. And because they reference it, it gets links and free traffic. So when you create an authority site, you are writing it as a place that other people will reference in conversations with other people. So that is what will end up getting links from other authority sites and give you free traffic in Google and from word of mouth. So this is not a blog, although it can be. A blog can be an authority site when people start referencing the blog as authoritative. But this is not social media content. This is content that other people find valuable enough to reference in their own conversations and thus start to get free traffic. The way that an authority site makes money is as the authority of that site starts to build and starts to get more and more free traffic, you can recommend products, you can build an email list, and or you can sell advertising. All of these are 6- and 7-figure opportunities. Again, we'll go through some examples at the end. So that's the process. It's creating content that other people see as authoritative to link back to so that you start getting free traffic and you start promoting your own products, doing other people's products, selling advertising. There's a bunch of different ways to advertise, or a bunch of different ways to monetize. The key is, are you authoritative? And that requires you to talk about something that other people want. It's important for me to note at this point that you don't have to make the content. You as the business owner do not have to be the one making the content. You have to be the one overseeing the content. You have to be the one knowing what the market is going to desire and you ensuring that the quality of the content is high enough that it will serve other people on their journey. So you don't have to make any videos. You don't have to make any social media content. You don't have to make any podcasts. You don't have to write a damn thing. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have your face on anything. You don't have to do any of that. You simply need to think like the editor-in-chief that is in charge of ensuring that the content produced is going to serve other people enough on their journey. So you don't have to be a part of it at all. You don't have to be the creator of anything. You're the overseer of the authority site. I love this comment from Tiffany. Writing for social media is so much harder for me, and it tends to be shallow. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. Social media, fast attention. Authority sites, deep, long, slow. Think CNN versus Joe Rogan. CNN, whatever is going to get attention and keep your attention. That's social media content. Joe Rogan, long, deep conversations that people listen to for years. That's the difference. And there's a nice example of what do you feel better listening to? CNN all day or Joe Rogan all day? And now, the brain likes to tap into CNN and see what's going on. But as far as depth and connection, like if you think about a product recommendation, if Anderson Cooper tells you about the hair product he's using, do you care? He does have pretty beautiful hair. But like, is he an authority on that? No, you don't care. CNN is actually the authority, not Anderson. Joe Rogan creates businesses by talking about them. That's the difference. So it's now I'm using two personalities, but the same is true with an authority site, right? It is eyeballs, it's attention. And so if you think about this through depth and long term, you will do way, way better than if you think about the fast dopamine hit of social media style content. Now, here's kind of your step-by-step rollout of how this works. Step 1, I apparently forgot step 4 on this slide. Step 1, choose an interest, a hobby, or a passion that you like. And the example that I'm going to use is travel because it was fresh in my mind from this week. So step 1, choose an interest. And just keep something in your mind right now, something that you're genuinely interested in, like a journey you're on right now. It could be that you're really interested in biohacking right now. It could be that you're really interested in gardening right now. It could be that you've always been interested in travel. It could be that you are genuinely interested in business and money. That's me. That's why I'm doing this right now. Like my authority site of capitalism.com is on business and money and investing. And I've been doing it for 10 years. 14 years. Jeez. So the first step, choose something that genuinely interests you. Now, I'm going to talk about travel as kind of the example because last week I was speaking to somebody who had just graduated college and made this. I mentioned that I was giving this presentation here in a week or so, and this person said, "Man, I would really love to do that in the travel space. I would love to do that in travel space." And I said, "Okay, well, why don't you?" And they said, "Well, I don't have enough money to travel and document my journey." And I said, "You don't gotta go anywhere. You don't gotta travel. You don't gotta do any travel. You don't need to be a traveler to build a travel authority site. Those are two different worlds. You're thinking about a social media traveler. You're thinking about a celebrity traveler. I'm talking about building a travel authority site. This couldn't be more different. A blogger or a vlogger is like, hey, I'm in the Atlanta airport. Look at this new cool thing they got. There are people who do that. What I'm talking about is if you were to not travel anywhere and sit at your home in quarantine and build an authority site, you could still have an authoritative travel site. How? Because your website now is just reporting on what's going on in the world rather than what's going on with you. So step 1, choose an interest. We're going to use travel as the example. Step 2, brainstorm 10 written pieces of content that would be topical right now. So the example I came up with was 10 cities that are safe to visit during COVID. You don't got to travel to all 10 cities to do a report on this. Or right now, 7 Black-owned businesses to visit next time you're in Minneapolis. These are topical things that you can write about that don't require you to travel anywhere. And in fact, they don't even require you to be an expert on these things at all. You don't got to know anything. You just have to be resourceful enough to find enough to write about or find someone who does. Remember, you don't have to create any content. You don't have to put your face on anything. You don't have to be the expert or the authority on anything. You just have to be the one who oversees the content that is produced. Step 3, brainstorm 10 additional written pieces of content that would be topical forever. So in the travel space, that would be something like how to use Marriott rewards points to get free upgrades. Now, again, it doesn't require you be the expert on this. It requires you to be resourceful on this. And that kind of a topic of how to use Marriott rewards points to get free upgrades is a topic that can be relevant forever because people are going to look for that for years. That's the difference in these two different types of content. There are two very different types of content. One is made to be topical, that attracts media. So that would be the short-term type of content that is designed to get people to talk about you or get to be in a way for people to reference you or people to share on social media. But the other type of content is a money page. And that is a product review, something that is keyword specific to sell advertising, something that is going to rank for a very long time and be referenced for a very long time so you can sell advertising or products on it. Now, here's the secret that nobody talks about. You only need 3 money pages. You really only need 1 money page to make a full-time income. You need one. One really good money page can pay for your life. 1. Just 1. An example is when I was in college, I ranked for a product that I reviewed called Worldwide Brands. Before I sold my own brands, I reviewed wholesaling companies because before I sold on Amazon and before I had my own physical product brands, I researched drop shipping. And I was like one of the bigger influencers in wholesaling and drop shipping. I made 6 figures a year just just reviewing access to these different drop shippers and wholesale companies. I sold like $1.5 million worth of a product called Worldwide Brands, which was just a catalog of wholesalers and some training on how to connect with wholesalers. And it's out of date now, but for like 5 years, I was getting commission checks of $10,000 a month just from Worldwide Brands. I was also the number 1 influencer, the number 1 affiliate for other brands in the space as well. And all this was done on like 2 pages. But the content was so in depth, and I wrote about it so much on other sites and got so many links back to this that I was the number 1 affiliate for these different offers, for these different businesses. There used to be this strategy. It was called launch jacking. And launch jacking was when you saw a big product launch coming and you would interview the founder, interview previous success stories, and you would put together a review about this product that was launching. And if you got early, if you were early to the process and you ranked on Google for this product name that wasn't out yet, once it launched, you got all kinds of commissions. It was this really fun process that we called launch jacking. It was like hijacking the launch, getting your media property, your authority site to rank for all these product launches. So that kind of stuff still happens. It happens best, though, when it is put onto a website that has natural authority in the space. So the way you do that, the way you build up your authority is by creating that topical content that attracts media attention and building those long-term pages. And Matthew Donovan says that launch jacking is something that still works. It's not my game anymore, but apparently that's still a thing. So if you're in the photography space and a new camera is coming out, or if you're in the travel space and a new travel credit card is coming out, or if you're in the electronics space and a new iPhone is coming out. These are all things that you can get out ahead of before a product even exists. That's one of the ways that you can monetize this. But I just want you to see that there's these two very different types of content. One type of content being for the purpose of getting links and attention, and another that is there to make money. They're different purposes, two types of content. So in this step-by-step outline that I gave you, step 1, choose an interest or a hobby. Step 2, brainstorm 10 topical pieces. That's your link bait. That's the stuff that's going to add authority and links in the short term. The real value comes in this third step, which is those 10 topical pieces that will be around forever. That's where the real magic and money is. Now, the question that comes up during this process is often, well, how do I make content? So I'm just going to answer the question, how do I make this really easy? How do we make content really easy? Number one, an easy way to do this, there's an app on the iPhone, I imagine it's on Android as well, called Otter. Otter is a transcription app. You just speak into it, and it's like it's writing for you. It's amazingly accurate. So record yourself in Otter talking about a topic, edit, and post it. That's it. You don't got to sit and think. Just record yourself talking or hand it off to an editor to put into a blog post. Second, interview an expert. You don't have to be the expert. Go find one, transcribe that, and post it. Another, look at several YouTube videos on the topic, summarize them, combine them into one article, and post it. Number 4, just give your opinion on someone else's content. Or, number 5, just hire a writer from Upwork to take your idea with a few bullet points and make it an article, make it a post. 1,000 words, 2,000 words, big in-depth post. This is all ways to get easy content that you don't have to produce, or you don't have to be the authority on, at least. Okay? So that's how we can have all the content we could ever handle on a specific topic. Now, here are a couple tools that you should sign up for. The first 2 being the most important. SEMrush.com is a way of tracking where you rank for keywords. So you can plug in any website, see what keywords it ranks for, how much traffic it gets, what the chances are that that's going to stay there versus getting replaced, where their links are coming from. It's a beautiful tool. There's a free option and a paid option. I have the paid option. We, for a long time, just used the free option. Number 2, Google Search Console. If you're starting and you have zero budget, just use Google Search Console as an alternative to SEMrush. This will just show you your own site. It won't show you competitor's site, but it'll show you where your stuff is starting to rank and where you're starting to get attention and traffic. And that way you can start to specialize in what it is that you're going to write about or talk about. Another great tool is called Ahrefs. Ahrefs will show you trends and link sources for that link bait type of content. So you'll see what other people are talking about, and you'll see what other people are linking to, so that you can write about similar topics and then go out to people and get links to them. It's a great tool. And the fourth tool is mention.com and or Google Alerts. They do the same type of function where they will send you alerts of when people are talking about you so that you can get in contact with those blogs and either respond or ask for a link back to your site, because the links are what generate the authority in Google's eyes and give you free traffic. So those are the tools that you'll need to be able to track your progress and to be able to hone in on what's working and what is not working. So let's go over some examples. NerdWallet. How many of you are familiar with NerdWallet, or at least heard about this? They run TV ads. They're all over the place. Oh yeah, NerdWallet is like the number one influential site in like personal finance. It started in 2009 with $800. The founder started a blog. He was a nerd who started talking about personal finance. Nerdwallet.com. Today, it's valued at $520 million. That's absurd. It's a content site. Its monthly traffic is 15 million unique visitors per month. SEMrush values that at $62 million worth of free traffic that it gets every month. Do you guys get that? Somebody worked there doing SEO. Would you please send me a message? I would be interested in working with you. C-Money. I can't see the name of whoever said I worked at NerdWallet. Would you jot that name down? I would like to get in contact with that person. Thank you, sir. By the way, if I can't see your name, it's because you haven't given StreamYard access for me to see your name. So that would change things. All right. So where was I? Now I'm all caught up in someone worked at the Points Guy or worked at NerdWallet doing SEO. We need to talk. All right. So that's the first example. Second example, the Points Guy. I love this example. This is so much fun. Points Guy started by this dude in 2010, took a $10,000 loan from his parents, starts a blog, starts writing about points hacking, travel, and a few years go by, 2 years in fact, and he gets $20 million from Red Ventures. What? Now, he still runs the site. He still owns the site. But Red Ventures, who owns Bankrate, has a bunch of relationships with credit card companies, gives him $20 million. In 2012, the site today gets 3.5 million unique visitors per month for free. It is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's a blog. Now, it's a great blog. It's great content. So this is the long-term power and authority of doing this process the right way. Now, in this person's case, the founder of the Points Guy starts writing about travel and points hacking as a hobby, and then starts getting sponsored to go on trips. And this is what I told the person that was thinking about getting into the travel industry. When you start talking about this stuff, when you start becoming authoritative in this space, people just start sponsoring you to come to their hotel, to go to their city, to come to their restaurant. They start paying you to write about them. And so now you're getting paid to do what you want. Now you're getting paid to just do the stuff that you want to do anyway and writing about it. You're getting paid to build your business. This is how life is supposed to be. You're getting paid to provide value in a way that you find meaningful. So that's how it starts. You start by writing the content that builds authority, ranking over time, and then all kinds of opportunities start to open up to you. Here's another example. Some of you might be familiar with Smart Passive Income. Pat Flynn started it when he was laid off from his job during the financial crisis, started writing about the businesses that he was considering starting. He was not an authority. He was not an expert. He just started writing about the things he was learning throughout his journey. He starts documenting how he's starting a podcast, why he's starting a podcast, what's working, what's not working. He never came from a position of, I know something you don't. Ever. He was not the authority until he was. That's actually how authority is built. So Pat starts documenting his journeys and his discoveries, earns 7 figures now without ever positioning himself as an expert. Super humble, super down to earth, talks about Star Wars and Back to the Future, has a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, sharing what he's learning. And now he earns 7 figures doing exactly that. So let me wrap this up, and then I'm going to turn it over to y'all for questions. By the way, If you want to come hang out with me and jam about some stuff, use a hashtag #GoLive. C Money will get in touch with you, shoot you a link, and we'll powwow in here. So you can start doing that now, and we'll start queuing you up. But I want to summarize this. So here's how you can move forward with this. Number one, do you have an interest, a hobby, a passion, a curiosity, an expertise, a desire to learn something new that you would genuinely enjoy learning more about and sharing along the way? Again, the content doesn't need to be from you, but in order for you to create good content, you've got to be actively learning about the space and the topic and the market. So something that you're genuinely going to enjoy learning more about so that you're curious enough to ask questions to create great content. Number two, do you know anyone that you could connect to in the space? Do you know any micro-influencers? Do you know any bloggers in the space? Do you know any advertisers or people who have businesses in that space? Do you know anybody who's really wise or well-versed in that space? Do you have any friends who you might be able to tap into for content or interviews or for editing? Are there any connections that you have in that space that could be a resource for you? Number three, brainstorm 10 content pieces that would be fun and make them. Put them on your website. And finally, track your keywords via semrush.com. So plug in your website into SEMrush and just watch where you start to show up. In fact, why don't we do a fun example here? So I'm going to show you something different. All right, so on this right here, this is SEMrush. So this is the pointsguy.com. You can plug in any website into this, but you can see where his traffic is coming from. So he ranks number 7 for Delta Airlines, which is one of his highest trafficked keywords. And even countries, Aruba, Iceland, cruise. Like, this is a very authoritative site. But what if we take something a little bit smaller, like we mentioned, smartpassiveincome.com. Now, what this will do is show us the keywords that we're ranking for that we might not be aware that we're ranking for. So, according to Google, Smart Passive Income gets 20,000 unique visitors a month. This is their graph over time. And we can start to look at, okay, there's a lot of content around starting a podcast, affiliate marketing, how to make a podcast, how to create a podcast. Well, this is creating a podcast, how to start a podcast, how do you start a podcast? These are the keywords that this site is ranking for. So if Pat wants to create a great piece of content that he knows is going to rank, what's it probably going to be about? It's probably going to be about how to start a podcast. And in doing so, he knows that he is becoming an authority on the topic of starting a podcast. Now, he probably didn't set out to become an authority on starting a podcast. He documented how he started a podcast. It became reference material for other people. That's how this works. Now he makes 7 figures. 1, 2, skip a few. 10 years later, he's a multimillionaire. So what I suggest that you do is right now, if you've got a website for your physical products brand or your personal brand, plug it into here and see what you rank for. Because it will start to reveal to you where you are becoming an authority, where people are starting to reference you. And in doing so, you can start to hone in on your authority in order to get more links and traffic. All right, so if you want to come live, the questions in here are ridiculous. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of questions in here. So I am not going to get to all of them. You will have to talk amongst yourselves. But if you want to jam with me one-on-one, hit go live or put go live in the comments, and C Money will shoot you a link so we can jam about this. C Money, I saw a couple people trickle through, but I don't see anybody in the room. Or we have a couple people trickling in. Cool. So that's the model, ladies and germs. That is the model. And this works. I don't care if you're in fitness, photography, electronics, money, health, any genuine interest of yours that you want to learn more about, you can have a full-time income doing this and very quickly become reference material and authoritative on the topic very quickly. Very, very quickly. While we're waiting, what do you want to talk about now? There's a bunch of way too many questions for me to get to, so sorry, y'all. All right, Grace, I'm going to bring you live. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Cool.
Hi.
Hello, Grace.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. How can I help?
So I have a physical product brand, it's Turkish towels. I wrote a ultimate guide for Turkish towels a couple years ago. It has generated a lot of traffic, about 40,000 in sales on my site from that blog post.
That's great. From one blog post?
From one blog post,
One blog post has done $40,000 in sales.
It's on towels. It's on the first page of Google. So it's a lot of organic traffic.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm wondering how I can monetize that more with maybe other products, or I guess I don't have any ideas.
Give me a high level overview of your business right now.
So this one, it's just Turkish towels. I guess it's just that simple. I source them from Turkey. I sell them myself here, and I've done it for 3 years, over the 6-figure mark, but I'm kind of stuck at that level.
Okay, so who buys Turkish towels?
My target market is minimalist women. Specifically, she lives in California. She owns a home.
Why does she buy Turkish towels?
To simplify her life. To have a product that replaces, she doesn't need bath and beach towels. It's the same thing. She doesn't need a blanket. It's the same thing. She can use it for travel. It's pretty.
So these are minimalist travelers who are probably like low waste, environmentally friendly, like bougie women in California.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so what else does that person buy?
Oh, that's a good question. So she buys organic food. She buys organic clothes for herself and her kids. She buys 7th generation cleaning products.
Yep. When she travels, does she take anything with her?
She would take her expensive luggage. She travels light, and she's proud to travel light.
Yep.
So swimsuit, sandals, a hat. She wears a hat to the beach.
Yep. Does this person compost or garden or
probably at least recycle,
like waste free or okay, cool. All right, so we have a pretty good landscape on who this person is. You also told me that besides Turkish towels, this person buys expensive luggage. They're well organized and is very proud of how they've organized their luggage. They recycle, and they have very strong beliefs about the earth and recycling. These are all content pieces. Now the content piece that's most obvious to me is if you have a piece that is about, 10 somethings about Turkish Towels. Tell me what that
The
piece
content piece that's producing the most is the ultimate guide to Turkish towels.
Okay, cool. So you take the same thing and you do it in a bunch of different things that people travel with, which is expensive luggage. The ultimate guide to whatever luggage is important to that person. That could end up being 4 different pieces. The ultimate guide to carry-on luggage. The ultimate guide to traveling waste-free. The ultimate guide to finding organic products wherever you travel. The 9 products you must travel with because they're not available in Europe. Right? These are all things that this person will consume and reference if they buy Turkish towels. Now, for you to grow the business, you have to start thinking about, how do I source and create 2 to 4 additional products that same person buys. If you do that, you'll go from 6 to 7 figures in the next 12 months.
Okay. Is there an idea that I can add to the current blog post to make that more money?
No.
Okay.
You're trying to squeeze more milk out of an almond.
Okay.
Why don't we just get you some more almonds?
Okay. I like that.
All right. So you are. I'll give you an analogy. People often ask me. They'll say, "All right, I'm selling $100,000 a month with just on Amazon US. I want to start selling in Amazon Europe. What do you recommend?" And I say, "Why do you want to go to Amazon Europe?" And they go, "Because it'd be like a 15 to 20% bump in sales." And I was like, or you could launch one more product on the marketplace you're on and triple your business. So do you want a 300% return, or do you want a 15% return? One you already know how to do, and the other sounds really hard, and you don't know how to do it. You have to learn something new, and it takes focus away from the marketplace that's currently paying your bills. So for you could try to squeeze 10% more out of the blog post you've got and sell more Turkish towels, or we could go get you a new product, a new post, new traffic sources, new eyeballs, new people, and the floodgates open to grow that business. In fact, the fastest way that you'll grow the blog post that you've got is having 5 to 10 more authoritative pieces on the same website, making the overall website more authoritative. You'll rank for more keywords, you'll get more traffic. So obviously keep the blog post fresh, obviously keep it authoritative, but the way you're going to grow your business is by duplicating what's worked well into other brands or into other products and to other keywords.
Okay. And it has to be not just another style Turkish towel. It has to be another totally different product.
It doesn't have to be. It's just going to be way harder to make Turkish towels interesting over 10 more posts than it is to serve the person that buys Turkish towels.
Okay.
If you think about the person rather than your product, you'll triple this business in no time. If you think about selling more Turkish towels, you have tapped out, Grace.
Okay. Thank you.
Have you read my book, Grace?
I have not. No.
You should read my book.
Okay.
It would really help you with where you are in this process.
Perfect. I will order that.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Grace. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Cole, I'm going over to you. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Cole, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I mean, like physically with your thumb, raise it in front of your face. There we go. Hello, Cole.
I was between Facebook and this. I was like, where's
just raise your thumb, my friend.
I was just like, type whatever I can type really quick.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Not much, man. I just want to say thank you. I love your content. Just like trying to connect the other day, and I gotta. Oh, that's my girlfriend.
Well, hello. This just got funky.
I know. A little risque.
I like I'm just listening.
But yeah, capitalism box. But also with her, I think I bought your Turkish finance.
Hey, Cole, your audio's coming in horrifying.
Yep.
Can you turn off Facebook or whatever you've got streaming, please?
Let's see. Hang on.
Hey, Cole, I'm gonna come back to you, okay? So stick around, but I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh no, we lost. Who'd we lose? We lost someone. We lost somebody. So now we have a spot open up, and I've got time to fill. Yeah. So Cole, give me a thumbs up when you have fixed your audio problem. But I want to edify and echo what we just talked about with Grace, which is most people are trying to add like a 5 to 10% improvement on something that has tapped out. But the way that you'll really grow is stacking on a new product, a new way to serve the same person, rather than selling more product. Go all in on the person and what they're looking for, and create more content and launch more products to that person. 2, I'm waiting on you. I'm excited to chat with you, 2. Cole, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. All right, well then I'll just hang out with you guys. Hey, Amy. Hey, 2. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Vince. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Blake. Hey, Oase. Oase is still with us. I thought for sure we were going to scare away Oase at some point. Hey, Shella. Hey, Asfar. Hey, Trenton. I'm so glad that you guys are getting the fun of this. Like the fun of this business. The fact that this can be light and easy and simple and grow over time. C Money, I would love to chat with 2. She's hitting go live in the comments. 2, if you're not seeing a DM from Chris, check your other folder. But I would love to chat with you.
So yeah, people need to. Man, I'm getting an echo too. This is really weird.
I wonder if it's me.
But yeah, obviously people need to go to their DMs. Go physically to your Facebook inbox. Look at the link.
Cool, Gilberto, good. 2, it's in your, check your Facebook messages. Your Facebook messages. We're sending it straight to you. So, I'm worried that I'm the source of echo problems, which would be weird. Gilberto, so your step right now of getting on this right now and writing down your ideas for sites and articles is awesome. So if you are the person that you're interested, like if it's a genuine interest of yours, post or start writing down the own things that you have had to overcome or that you were interested in along your journey, and that will open up a whole bunch of ideas for you. All right, 2, you're with us. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready. There we go. Thank you. Hi, old friend. Great to see you. It's been a long time.
Okay. And I just say that I remember your freedom. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It sounds like you've got Facebook streaming in the background. If you got that. But
I don't know how to get rid of it.
But I can hear you. Oh, 2. You just hung up on me. I'm not gonna lie. Like y'all have today the average technological knowledge on this call is lower than my grandmother's. Not gonna lie. This is sad, 1%ers, for us to not be able to fit. And it also goes to show you don't need to be a tech genius to be a millionaire. I have no idea why we're echoing so bad. Let's try one more time. All right, 2, I'm bringing you back.
For us not.
All right. Yeah, you're streaming in the background. Do you have YouTube playing?
No, not on purpose.
Okay. Well, go ahead. What's up?
Okay.
Let's try one more time. All right, two. I'm bringing you back. All right. Yeah, you're streaming in the background. Yeah. Yep. That's you. This is weird. This is super. C Money, do you have any idea what would be causing that?
It sounds like people have Facebook going on and StreamYard open at the same time.
Yeah. So, if you've got Facebook open at all or YouTube open at all, nix it. All right.
And Drew is recommending maybe people just bust out phones here.
Just what?
If you have headphones, that should shut down.
Yeah, that would help too. All right, two. I'm gonna bring you back here.
Hi.
Hi. You sound perfect now.
Okay, perfect. Can I just say that I started on Freedom Manifesto? Like I don't know when you put that out. I was reading it on Sailboat, and I'm gonna meet that guy. And I met you in where? I don't even remember.
We met at a conference.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay. So I have this passive business that I tanked, and basically I did POD with a company that I don't necessarily love, but it tanked, and I don't trust the company anymore. And so when I was pregnant and I had my newborn, I was working 2 hours and I made $15,000 in a month, and it was amazing. It was so great. And then postpartum happened and the thing crashed and my Amazon account is down and I have to go back into it. So my obsession and the reason that I signed up for this authority site thing is mommy income, right? So there's going to be a lot of people who, people want to know how I did it, but I'm looking for another POD that I trust because I know how to sell designs. I'm really good at it and I can do it and I can teach people how to do it, but that's going to be my site. But it's just
so I'm not following. You're looking for a print-on-demand company, or you're looking to start a business teaching. I do not understand what you're trying to do.
So my authority site is going to be my journey to find a company that I trust because I know a few, and I have to start it back up to get it back to where it was before. So now I'm working corporate and blah 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 blah, right? And I hate being there, being paid really well, but I can't wait to be home with my son. And that's where I want to be. I want to be 2 hours home with my son, making awesome income like every other mom, right? Who's working and doesn't want to be. But so that's where I'm going to go back. So this POD, they have an affiliate. So
you are really caught up. You are really caught up in the print on demand because it worked for you for half a second in the past.
No, it worked for me for 2 years.
Okay. And so what is the challenge now that you don't like the print on demand company you were using?
I don't like them and I don't trust them necessarily anymore.
So I'm gonna help you out here too, because you're really close to the problem and I need to zoom you out of this to see this. Your authority site is as a mommy business blogger. And you documenting your journey of staying home with your kids and earning a full-time income with a side hustle. That's your business. And so that is your focus. Now you could totally punt the print on demand business and interview other moms, talk about business models you tried in the past, what's worked and what didn't work, what podcasts you listen to, what YouTube videos you like, what 4 business models that you can start part-time, a complete guide to affiliate marketing, a complete guide to print on demand, a complete guide to selling on Amazon, a complete guide to networking.
Okay. How do I monetize that?
What was rule number 1 of this call?
Love what I do.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. I'm thinking about it 28 hours a day. It's what I want.
You're thinking about what that you want?
Having a passive business again, like starting it up and making it work again.
Okay, so are you thinking about how do I have a business that gives me what I want, or are you thinking about how you can help other moms discover what they don't know exists?
Well, I want.
Say it. It's okay.
I want my business working again. I need it back up so that I can help other people. You know what I mean? Like
no, you need to help other people so that you can have your business.
Okay.
The thing that's keeping you stuck is you are so stuck on this problem of this print-on-demand company that you're having a hard time zooming out and building a business. And in the context of this conversation for authority sites, your authority is going to come from helping other moms build businesses. And you're going to do that by sharing all the things that you have learned, which is a ton over the last 6 to 8 years of being an entrepreneur on the side. And one of those pieces is you talking about print on demand and what you've learned from print on demand and why you decided to leave the print on demand company that you were working with.
Right.
And you start calling other print on demand companies and you share about which ones you chose and which ones you're working with and which ones you like. And that becomes amazing reference material for every mom who is trying to build a business. And then your blog starts to outproduce the print on demand business that you were trying so hard to make work.
So tell me how the monetization comes in when I'm testing things out and there's no affiliate links. I'm just not understanding.
So monetization comes when you build a list of moms, when you recommend other products, and when people pay you for advertising.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with the print on demand company. Nothing.
Okay.
You talking about the print on demand company is content for the people who follow you, and the people who follow you are the monetization. Through advertising, through list building, through product reviews, through product recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
That's the monetization. The monetization is through people, not through the product.
Well, there isn't a more rabid buyer than a mom who wants to be home with her kid.
100%. It's a multi-six-figure business within a year.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
As long as you can punt your attachment to making the print on demand work.
I just know it works. You know,
Great.
Now I have to explore and try things.
No, you don't.
If I don't make it work, how am I going to talk about it and help other people?
You are vastly underestimating the knowledge that you have to help other moms realize that they can build businesses on the side.
Okay.
You've been following me for like 8 years.
Yeah.
You know what affiliate marketing is.
Right.
You know what selling on Amazon is.
Right.
You know other people who do these things.
I do.
You are making the mistake that I talked about earlier of thinking that you have to be the expert in order to have an authority site. You are simply the resource. And your resources are, you know people, you know about business models, you have experience, you've done it yourself, you have connections, and all of that becomes the material that other people start referencing on your site. One of those content pieces, one of them is you talking about print on demand. Because it was how you started.
Well, yeah.
Great. It's one amazing content piece. But if you try to teach the print on demand business, you'll struggle.
Yeah. I don't believe it anymore.
So stop obsessing over it and start obsessing over the people that you're serving.
Okay.
Process out loud.
Well, I just need to know what my next step would be now that I have this, right? Now that I know what I have now and what has worked. Now, do I list, what are my top 10 now, and then, my money page.
So for you, this becomes really easy when you think about the person who is going to be reading your stuff and the challenges that they're going to be overcoming. So your content pieces are the best business models to start as a mom.
Okay.
6 ways to make money as a writer. Or how to make money as a writer from home.
Okay.
Businesses that you can start while in quarantine. How this mom makes a full-time income reviewing toy products. How Ryan's Toy Review became a $100 million a year business. I'm trying to think of other things that have nothing to do with two.
Right. Oh, I see. How other people have done it.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you interview somebody in the 1% who sells on Amazon. Somebody in the 1% who's a full-time affiliate marketer. And you talk about that as content on the site. Then you do a post that is how I earned $15,000 in a month doing print on demand and why it failed. That's an amazing link bait piece. And it's super humanizing to put you in the story, and now I want to follow the rest of this journey. See, the creativity, this is such a moment right here. This is such an aha for you. All your creativity gets stopped the minute you turn around and try to be the expert on something, because it stops the growth process. You're doing this, and on the growth path, you're stopping and saying, how do I teach somebody so that I can keep growing? The process is to keep going and share the whole way up. The ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, without you ever having to be the expert. The minute you're the expert, your creativity's gone. You don't want to be the expert. You want to have the authority site, and you're a character in the overall authority site. Do you understand? Does that nuance make sense?
Well, I'm not interested in Amazon anymore. I'm not interested in it. I want to do something and prove and have those pop that page. It's working for me. Versus reporting out. That's where my fault.
Okay. So what is your point or your question in that?
So if I'm writing about toy reviews, writing about on Amazon, I've done it.
No. So you're not hearing me too. I'm not saying that you are the expert in that at all.
Okay.
I'm saying you are simply the reporter on moms in business. And so you don't have to be the expert at all.
Okay.
So you go to the people who are moms and doing well in business, and you report on them. One of the moms is you.
Right.
And you can talk about print on demand or other business models you've tried, but you are not trying to teach how to do these things, because all your creativity will go away because you don't consider yourself an expert on that. It's why you walked into this call saying, how do I clear this problem so that I can be an expert so that I can sell things to other people?
Okay. All right.
You don't believe me yet.
No. But I know that I have to get going, and I have to start, right? To keep going. I have to start.
So let me ask you this. Do you want to have an authority site, or do you just want to have a business?
I want to spend my time doing what I'm obsessed about. So if I'm obsessed about that, and it becomes a business, then good.
So is that talking about business models as a mom?
Yeah.
Then you
And
need to
finding-
do that. Then you need to do that and not worry about the monetization for 30 days.
Okay.
And then it becomes monetizable.
Okay. I can do that.
And one of those pieces of content that you're creating over the next 30 to 90 days is your experience in print on demand.
Okay.
Why you broke up with your supplier and which one you went with next.
Okay.
That's one of those pieces.
Okay.
So the money for you is still coming from your print on demand business. But your authority and your long-term wealth is going to come from being an authority on moms in business. That's the difference. Your short-term cash is coming from this challenge that you're trying to solve. But your long-term wealth and authority that is going to set you free forever is your authority. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to see
I'm
you too.
excited about being a leader for mom. Job.
Good, you can be.
Do that.
Good. And it's a wide open space that's ready for you.
Thanks.
Yep, we'll be here.
Happy Sunday.
All right, good to see you too. All right, Cole, I'm coming back to you. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Thumbs up by your face, Cole. There we go. What's up, dude? No, you're complete. Now you're muted.
Is this better?
There we go. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can hear myself a little bit still.
Well, what's going on, dude?
No, so it's super interesting for me because especially with what Tu was saying, she seemed to have like a lot of struggle with like I guess believing you. And it's like for me, it's like it's hard for me because you say do something you love and I love that and it's really I guess that easy. But for me, it's I guess it'd be hard to finding something that you love because it's like I love food, I love games, I love politics, I love so many different aspects, and so it's just I guess narrowing down on the passion. It would be the hard part for me because to be honest, I'm super lazy, and it's like I want to do something that I love, yes, but then I also want to do something because I want to be disciplined in it. Because a lot of things I've tried so many different things, and it's like, oh man, what do I do? And because it's hard for me to focus on that.
You are actually not lazy. You are uninterested. So, like you said, would you say one of them was love? I love video games. Like you've never been too lazy to play a video game.
Oh no, play one last night.
Right? Because you were genuinely interested in the video game. So the thing is, what is the thing that you are genuinely interested in learning more about? That's the difference. So drive or interest or motivation doesn't come from your internal capacity now. It comes from your capacity for what is your desire for what is next. So like if you are a foodie, but you don't really care about learning, increasing that capacity, that's not an interest that you're going to grow over the next 3 to 5 years. If you're on a journey to be a professional gamer, which is a huge industry, then there's actually a wide open space of like how to be a professional gamer. That's a wide open space that can learn more about forever. So we all have multiple interests. What's the one that you are genuinely interested in learning more about?
I feel like it'd be both, and I appreciate you you muting the mic for me. I feel like food, and I think food would be an interesting one because right now, my girlfriend who you saw earlier, her mother, has type 2 diabetes, and she has to do the ketogenic diet. Or we're gonna do that with her, and so that's something that is always interested me is health, and just the way it affects like you've talked about doing health and how it's it can be detrimental if you don't actually take care of yourself and I just the impact it makes on people. But that I guess that's always my thing, the impact it makes on somebody. And because I love that. Like I sell insurance right now, and I just love being able to help people who genuinely want help. So I feel like with food, that could be something like diving into the ketogenic diet. Zach, I can never pronounce his name. The life's the
Rochelo. Yeah.
yeah, Rochelo. Like I love his content. I love what he does. It's super interesting to me. So like I love that kind of stuff. And then gaming I think is great too because you can take something that's just like what we grew up not you can't be a gamer, it's not going to pay the bills, and then now it's a whole industry to where it's like blowing up like you said. And it's just mind-boggling. I mean, I love both so much.
Okay, so you mentioned that you sell insurance right now. Was that kind of a side comment, or do you sell insurance as part of your interest in health? Are they related somehow?
So no, that's just my W-2 job, I'll say. Because I was actually going to be I work for State Farm or for an agent. I was going to be an agent myself, and then I decided like being an agent, I just couldn't do it. Like I love helping people, but just the the kind of they say you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, but there's a lot of stuff from the top that they control you, and I don't like that.
What
But
type of
just
insurance, Cole?
I sell life insurance, health insurance, auto, home, business, that kind of stuff. Business insurance is one of my favorite ones.
There's something really interesting that you said about I really like helping people, and you said I sell insurance and I'm really interested in health and not just food, but it was really about health. And there's something very interesting about those two things together, about insurance and health. And I'm trying to find the crossover in my brain. Like if you can write about both of those things, it's like both of those things are reducing risk.
Yep.
But both of those things are reducing the risk on your health and reducing the risk on your finances. And those two things. Yes, that's right. So as a result, there's a really interesting crossover there of those two topics. And you wouldn't think that talking about food and talking about selling insurance would have crossover, but they can and they do.
Right.
And there's something very interesting to go in that direction about like how your diet impacts the fees that you pay in insurance. If you're genuinely interested in staying in those two fields for the next few years, that's a very interesting topic to be an authority on. There are lots of people who are authorities on food, and there's room for more. And if you love what Zach is doing, there's lots. I mean, those content creators are actively looking for other content creators to do partnerships with. So there's lots and lots of fast growth there. You coming in with an insurance angle, I personally think would be fascinating because there's nobody who's doing that in a way that's sexy. There's nobody who's talking about insurance in a way that's interesting. And if you can do that, I think you're the authority overnight. But if that's something that you want to leave and you don't want to go in that direction, there's plenty of room in the food space to do damage, and they're always looking for collaborations in that space.
Well, I really like your idea because that's something that I love insurance. I tell people all the time. I love insurance. I love people who actually genuinely are interested in understanding it. Like I had a lady, Miss Davis. She was wanting to save money like everybody else. Save 15% or more on your car insurance. Blah blah blah. But she wanted to save money, and I convinced her into increasing her limits, getting an umbrella policy, getting a renter's policy, like all these things. And she understood the value. She, oh my gosh, now it makes sense. Now I understand like insurance and why I need it. Blah blah. And it's like that means the world to me when I can do that to somebody's life, because then if something happens, they're so protected. Like doing that to my own family made me feel great. But I like the angle.
Yeah, I really feel like there's something here of like your angle being. Somebody put "food is life insurance" in the comments. It's actually a great domain name.
I love that.
Like foodisinsurance.com, food insurance, something like that. And I can really clearly see this authority site in which the character named Cole has a statement that's like, I'm an insurance agent who has realized that the best insurance that you can have is a great life, a great body, a sound mind, a full bank account. Like it's a lifestyle authority site where most of the content is about food and cooking, and you just happen to be coming at it from an insurance angle.
Well, you just said something interesting. You said like your mind. So it's like, would I be able to I guess, venture off into things that are like for your mindset and stuff like that, or would it only have to be focused on food and insurance?
No, I mean, whatever draws you and gives you enough energy to keep going.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So
what?
I mean, like the insurance aspect of eating healthy. Insurance aspect of having a good mindset.
Not necessarily. So let's just say, like, this is an authority site that is made to build up your business, your insurance business. You're doing content about food, and you're talking about the difference in your family members' blood sugar levels because they have diabetes. They need to go on a ketogenic diet. Before and after results of the ketogenic diet for my diabetes family member. And so you're talking about the story of this person's transformation, what they ate, what their weight loss was, what the journey looked like. And one of the reasons for it being is when she solves her diabetes, her life insurance fees go down. Now what's interesting about that is the whole content is about lifestyle, food, exercise, ketogenic recipes, disease, mindset, but your product is what you currently do right now, which is insurance.
I got you. So
if nothing else, if I'm making your recipes and then I find out that you do life insurance and I need a life insurance policy, I want to buy from you, even though it has nothing to do with life insurance.
So you want to buy one, Moran?
Maybe when you start talking about food that I like.
Yeah.
So I follow where the interest and the desire is, but your personality and your eye for another industry is the magic sprinkle on this that makes your other business hugely profitable very quickly. Even if you leave State Farm or whoever you're with and you just become a broker of insurance, you'll have so much business from the authority that you've built up on this site that you can go anywhere you want. You don't have the corporate top down anymore.
I like that.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, that's really interesting. About that.
Yeah. So like go follow the desire and the interest, but don't poo-poo the history that you've got up to this point, because there's something that has kept you interested in that is going to be a beautiful crossover to the content that you create.
Okay, awesome. I really appreciate the idea.
Yeah, you bet. All right, good to see you, Cole.
You see you too.
All right, team. Thank you for dealing with the tech issues and the audio issues today. We're going to wrap for today. So here's what I want to invite all of you to do here. I want to invite you to start documenting your ideas and the direction you want to go in the Facebook group. So the reason why I'm jazzed to share all of this with you over the next couple of weeks and be tracking this over the next year or so inside the 1% is because I know that if someone builds an authority site like this, there's all kinds of magic that we can do. We can launch a physical products brand. We can build $1 million membership site. We can build up a influence. And if the members of the 1% start going in that direction, they have bulletproof businesses that basically set them free. And that becomes the traffic and authority that we can partner into other brands and sponsorships. And now it just becomes really fun and playful. So I want you to start documenting the direction that you want to go inside the Facebook group. And as a result, we'll collaborate and brainstorm your ideas, help clarify them so that you can really move forward on this. Over the next coming weeks, we're going to do some case studies and Q&A to clarify any points that are preventing you from moving forward, get you really crystal clear on how you're going to use this, and then you're going to be able to take whatever your interest is and start building out a successful business in this direction. Thank you all for coming. This is one of the highlights of my week, doing this Sunday coffee with you. It's always great to hang out with you. I'll see you in the Facebook group, and I will talk to you next week. Take care, everybody.